I think my favorite part of Tim Kane's Fallout TV show review is the fact that he just right out of the gate is like, I like it. It felt like Fallout. Let's talk about it. Which is in many cases silencing some of these I want to call them toxic fandom, the toxic fans who are out there trying to gatekeep the franchise, claiming that Bethesda screwed it up, that New Vegas is the best, or that Fallout 4 is the best, or that the show didn't respect the lore, Amazon sucks, all these other things. And yet here's Tim Kaine saying, I'm the OG Fallout guy. I like it. It's good. But I'm not gonna preach to you. We're gonna watch his reaction here. So we're gonna get going. Before we do, if you haven't watched his channel yet, you should subscribe over there. There's lots of cool stuff. We cover his videos once in a while because I like his game dev stuff. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. We cover lots of different things, play lots of different games. There's a Twitch, a YouTube, a Patreon, a Discord, a gaming community, and beyond. So hopefully we'll see you in more videos. Without further ado, let's get to the beginning of this and click play.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tim. Let's do a Fallout TV show review. First off, there's going to be spoilers. I don't know exactly what. I'm spitballing a lot of this. I'm just popping off the top of
Well,
my
I'm up to
esophagus.
speed, so we should be good.
So I'm just going to say in advance,
I'll hang out here.
spoilers are coming up. If you haven't finished the show, stop, come back when you finished it. Also, I know I've said multiple times that I don't review things. I don't like to review other people's work. But I'm going to talk about the show. A lot of people are asking. And at the end, I'm going to link you to a review that is better than mine, that I watched. I liked a lot. I agreed a lot with it. So you can just go watch that one and go, okay. Also, because I know I have a tendency to ramble, I'll just say right now,
Here it comes.
I like the show.
I like the show.
There. For people who don't want ramblings, you can just stop, leave. Tim said he liked the show. There you go. So
I
now
gotta
I'm gonna
stop.
ramble.
I gotta stop it right there because that to me, here's the OG creator of Fallout, and he's saying I like the show. So all of the naysayers who are claiming that Amazon did this and Bethesda did that, and gatekeeping, it's not as good. They didn't do this. They should have done this. But what about the Fallout 3 lore? What about the Fallout 4? What about New Vegas? QQ. From the man himself. When you have someone who is the creator of a franchise, the guardian of a franchise, when they say that they are happy with the adaptation. Granted, we're going to watch the full review because there will be strings that get pulled on, but the overall consensus is liked it, and I believe he says it feels like Fallout, if he didn't already say it.
Just so you know, it was just as surreal to be home again, sitting on my couch, dog snoring, watching Fallout on my TV. It was just as surreal as watching it in the theater, the Chinese theater down in Hollywood. And it's hard to explain to this. It's hard for me to explain unless you've worked on it. And I've talked to Leonard about this. But that surrealness that when you see the thing you worked on really hard and all these ideas and visuals and just to see it in real life realized, they had huge sets, amazing production values on them. I talked about that. Amazing props.
I saw somebody, this is the funniest thing to me ever. I saw somebody yesterday who made a video saying they're not going to watch the Fallout show because of all the political messaging in the show, right? And people out there have said, it's woke. I'm not going to play a woke agenda show. And I'm like, did they not realize? I got to stop for a minute. I'm just going to stop. Do they not realize who he is in relation to the franchise and what his orientation is? Do they just not know that? Like, it's the funniest thing ever for me to hear someone say that they won't watch the show because they don't agree with the political messaging and that it's woke. And I'm just like, come on. Like, do you not know who he is?
The acting was phenomenal. I mean, it was just surreal to watch Fallout recreated in real life like that. In many ways, I felt the same way as when I did Nuka Break. I mean, they had a much smaller budget, but they were dedicated. It was very Fallout-y. They cared. There was a lot of attention to detail, even on Nuka Break. And you can go watch my video on that. I'll link it below. All these things, if I mention a video, it's linked below. You can go watch it. it was really cool to be on that set and to take part in it in my very limited eye shooting out cameo. But watching this TV show, I felt a lot of the same thing. Now, I know when I talked at the premiere, I tended to just I was so overwhelmed. It was
Of
on a
course,
huge
yeah.
screen. I think it was IMAX, and I was just like, wow, I was looking at everything. I paid a lot more attention to the story and the dialogue in this one.
Yeah.
And what I can tell you, the reason I like it so much is everything feels like Fallout.
Here it is.
It
Feels
like
feels
Fallout.
like
That
Fallout.
is hard to do. Trust me, I know how hard that is to do. It's easy to write post-apocalyptic stuff that doesn't fit in the Fallout mold. And it would have been very easy for them to accidentally go off, to be too silly, to have things that are like, that's not part of Fallout. But they didn't. In fact, one thing I loved about this show so much, there was a lot of lore drops. I missed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched videos where people try to find all the Easter eggs. I've seen people throw up Reddit threads where they notice something that I'm like, I watched that. I did not see that. What I especially love about it is there's no exposition. There was never a narrator explaining this stuff to you. There was never a character who had some big wall of text, it would have been in the game, or some really long VO. There was nobody going, and just to remind you, these vaults were built over 200 years. You don't need to know that. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it makes the game or the TV show a little more
Fast-paced.
a little harder to get into than somebody who, if you haven't played the games, I think you've got a
My
bit of a
wife
bump
hasn't
there
watched it yet, so I
to
can't.
try to
I'll know
figure out
more
everything
because she's
going on,
never
but I
played the
believe
games.
it's something you can figure out. I will talk again. The time where Lucy stopped to ask for directions from that guy working on the sand filter, and he drank all of her water. That guy looked straight out of Fallout as one of our village characters, and that's what I'm talking about. The feel. That's what gets me in the feels. Many of you probably saw that, never knew that. Just thump. But that gets me. That made me go, ooh, that's so Fallout-y. And that's what I wanted. Everything is not going to be perfect. Everything's not going to be just like it in the games. Because guess what? This isn't a game. This
It's
is
an
a TV show.
adaptation. Yeah, he gets
But
it.
the feel was right. And that's what I liked. One thing I thought was particularly cool was the three main characters felt like different ways that a player character could be approaching the game.
Well, it's like the main quest
who was
lines.
the nice character.
Let's go do the Brotherhood
Started
quest
off a bit
line. Let's
innocent,
go do
didn't stay
the
that way, but
Wastelander
wanted to go out
campaign.
and do good. You know, had an ethical system, and I'm going to be a good person. Maximus, he had his own goals. Some would call him selfish, but he had his own things he wanted to do. He wasn't going out of his way to be a bad guy, but he had goals he wanted to achieve, and he was going to achieve them. I know players like that. And then, of course, the ghoul. He was pretty much the show's murder hobo, which many of you play the game that way. So do I. But all of them had arcs that they changed over the course of the show, and you learn things about their background, like why are they the way they are. They all changed during the show, which I love because it sets the three of them up for what's going to happen in season 2. I hope there's a season 2.
This is before there was an announcement.
The show, in that sense, felt like a game. That Lucy's the main character. She starts off, you get her background. She starts off on her main quest, which is find her kidnapped father, straight out of Fallout 3. And then, in Fallout 4, you're looking for your son. I guess that whole let's find a family member thing is very big in Bethesda's Fallout. So you shouldn't have been at all surprised to see it here. But it feels like she started off, and in the first episode or two, it was all about the main quest. Then all these side quests
open up.
And it went in all different directions. It went in places you didn't expect. And then the main quest completes at the end, but in a way that makes you go, I have more questions. I would like to play the sequel now. I want to know what's going to happen here. And I love that. That's a good way for a game or a TV show or a movie to end. You got a lot of your questions answered, but there were some new questions that arise that you want to know. You want to know the answers to. So, by the way, I'm not going to give it away, but like I had to text Leonard. I think it was episode 7, and I said, you have to watch this because I was thinking of the cameos. It totally got me when Eric Aspera showed up as
in the beginning,
the father of the people who were doing metal. They had metal detectors and they were looking for stuff. I'll admit, the voice is what triggered me. I'm like, he sounds like Eric Aspera. I saw him. I'm like, wow. And by the way, I hope I age as 10th as well as Eric Aspera has. I watched Chips. and I'm like falling apart here, and Eric Sparrow looks great. So him,
You're not falling apart, sir.
just some of the other surprise cameos got me. Um, but then there was some lore surprises, and let's talk about that. Um, let's talk about Vault-Tec nuking first, and let's talk about Shady Sands being nuked, because I see a lot of people talking about that. Um, and
Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand.
let me give you my opinion on this. I know a lot of people are giving you opinions, and here's another opinion. But first of all, yes, Vault-Tec did talk about nuking first. If you've ever been in a company, they will have business plans that try to handle different contingencies. But I don't think they nuked first. I really don't think they did, because Barbara didn't strike me as a stupid woman. Would she have sent her daughter to a birthday party on the day Vault-Tec was going to nuke? I think they were planning on nuking. It was one of their strategies that they were thinking about, which is enough to go, wow, Vault-Tec is evil. But I don't think they nuked. I think they were a bit caught off guard too when nukes came in. Similarly, I think Shady Sands being nuked might go a lot of different ways. I know people are complaining about the dates being off. Well, you're right. Maybe they are off. Maybe what was taught to the kids was wrong. Maybe it was deliberately wrong. Maybe they were lying to the kids. They lied to the kids in Vault 33 about
This is a
other
brilliant
things. Why not
storytelling
lie about that?
technique.
Or maybe they're off, but they don't know they're off. Maybe it's just a few years either way. Or maybe the dates in the games are off. Maybe Fallout New Vegas, some of the characters in that game got the dates wrong. There's no master calendar you can refer to. Maybe people got off. Maybe people knew what had the years wrong.
I love the fact that he's giving exposition on this, because this is one of the best ways to shut down the trolls who are and the zealot fans who are like thumping their Fallout Bibles, going, "But this is the date, and this is when it." Here's the OG. He's giving you a masterclass in storytelling right now on how to make those questions disappear, because who knows why the dates aren't perfect. Here's all these reasons why they might not be. It's brilliant from a storytelling perspective.
Or maybe they're just unreliable narrators.
Yeah.
Fallout has a history in a lot of the games of having people tell you something that isn't true. So any of these could be unreliable narrators, and that's something I think you need to keep in mind, because as far as the show goes, it's a good show. I'm along for the ride.
Thank you.
I have no doubt in my mind
I love it.
that they may explain some of this stuff in a sequel, which I'm hoping we get. A season 2. And even if they don't, let me just remind you that lore drift is inevitable in big
Adaptations
IPs.
of any kind.
Star Wars had a lot of lore drifting. I was old enough. I was a kid and went to see the first Star Wars in the movie theater. So when the second prequel trilogy came out and suddenly the Force was midichlorians, I was like, what? I mean, I still like Star Wars, but that was a what moment. And they backed up on that, if you've noticed. Marvel was the same way. I was never a big comic book person, so when I'd go to see the movies, I'm like, okay, that's fun. That was a fun movie. But people were going, oh, this is terrible. They've ruined the lore. Tony Stark had blue eyes. I'm like, I don't care.
Yes, I don't care either. It's perfect.
So when I see people talking about this stuff online, I'm hoping that they address it. But you have to understand that not everything you're shown and told in the game might be true, and they might be setting you up for a shocker. I hope I didn't ruin anything. I hope I didn't. I don't know anything about season 2. I didn't know anything about season 1, so I hope I didn't accidentally reveal anything there. So let me just say, look back at a few of my videos. I talk about how hard it is to make an IP and maintain it. There's a whole video about that. Some of the issues I've seen there, I see here. Sequels are hard. I don't like doing sequels. I hope there is a sequel. You can consider this season 1, though, to be a sequel. I've heard online they considered it Fallout 5. It's kind of like a 5th installment.
It's
I
canon,
can see why.
yeah.
It's a bunch of stories told in the Fallout universe. Every single Fallout game changed a little in the games that came before. It's always happened. The lore has always drifted a little. Fallout 2 changed some things in 1. Fallout 3 changed some things in 1 and 2. Fallout 4 changed some things in 1, 2, and 3. It happens. So, then the last thing I just want to say real quick is for open-ended games like Fallout, I talk about how you have to pick a canonical ending when you do a sequel. Who knows what canonical ending they had in mind for these games that led to this Fallout TV show timeline. So I hope we find out. So let me just end up. I like the show. I like it a lot.
Yep. Awesome.
If you want a full review, Chara Lanazard has a channel and has a review on Fallout on it that I liked, and I'll link it below. Basically what she said, I think I agreed with everything or almost everything she said in her review, and she said it a lot better. So go watch hers if you want a full review, and then know that, like, you know, this is also what Tim Kaine thinks. So, not that it matters. You know what? I'm not in charge of this anymore. Neither are you. Basically, anything Bethesda does from now on, that's canon.
Thank you.
So, I think it's fun to talk about this, though. I don't think it's fun when people make personal attacks about it. So, cut that out, please. But certainly have fun with this show. Look at the lore. Look at the Easter eggs. You know, pick things apart. Have fun with it. But do it if it's fun for you. If you're doing it out of a spirit of just being spiteful,
I think every Star Wars and Star Trek fan needs to listen to this. Every toxic Star Wars and Star Trek fan, I should say. I don't have time to read all the
hostile stuff. So, anyway.
Because all these people who are like, Disney sucks, you know, all this other stuff, it's like, they get to do what they want. That's Disney. It's not canon. It's not canon. Well, it is. They're the owners, and he just said it brilliantly, very eloquently. It's Bethesda's thing to do with what they want now. They paid for it. They get to do with what they want. So whatever they say goes. And I'm along for the ride. So should you be.
This show, go watch the review if you want some more detailed notes about the show. But I liked it, and I can't wait for a season 2.
Me too. I'm also on board for it. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. As always, make sure to follow along with his channel if you aren't already doing so. Timothy Kaine, you know who he is. And if you like my coverage, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams here and on Twitch. There's a Patreon and a Discord. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Stay safe. Happy gaming.